since I'm going
It's
to
so
do this.
nice
I'm going
when
to do this.
people kind of connect with the film like this, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Oh, it's going to be
amazing.
You guys are going to have a blast. I mean, as you travel with this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the fans, of course, that come out and are so happy to see
Yeah.
Paul, and have an opportunity to engage in a very one-on-one way. But then there's also the emotional journey that the film takes you on. It's really
Really proud of that. I mean, I'm really proud of that in so many other documentaries, I think what winds up on the cutting room floor became real content of this film.
Right.
Where you see the confrontation between the two of us about what's going to go in. Him asking questions that I'm not thrilled that he's asking, and I tell him so. And to his credit, he said, "Yeah, let's put that in there. Let's show this journey. Let's let people experience how we came to this place." So I think he winds up making the film that he started to make, but he in the process, we both have the opportunity to show something that is I think so much deeper, so much more meaningful, which is it's about the trust and the fact that in the 80s I was a stoner mess and ran away from all that, and when I got sober I didn't know if I wanted to poke the bear again. I didn't know if I wanted to deal with that again, and for him to give me the opportunity to use those lost years now and to show that's what it was like. This is what it's like today. This is how, I found a serenity. Serenity is too quiet a word. Yeah, I found a level of happiness in my life that I was always looking for.
Did Steve approach you then just at the right time? Had you been grappling? Yeah. Is that what you're saying? You were grappling with this. Where is my work in relation to celebrity and fame? Because it seemed like, was there and second part of that question, was there a concern about the temptations again with the spotlight?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. First of all, I wasn't grappling with anything. I was really happy. My life was a wonderful combination of family, of work. I was at the time I had joined in 2001 I joined the board of ASCAP, so I was very heavily involved in two areas. Not to the extent that I am now, but I was involved in Music Creators' Right and very heavily involved in recovery. I'm 22 years sober, So there was not any grappling with it. There was some concern about, did I want to interrupt that life, the life that I have today, or that I had when we started the film, to deal with that again. There's something so pathetic about a little old man going, "Please, sir, may I have some more fame? I'd like, the spotlight on me one more minute." I found that was kind of repulsive, and I didn't want to be that guy. I had no intention of going there. Happily, that's not where we went. Where we went is, and my life changed a lot during. I don't think the life that I have today we could make the film if we were starting now.
No.
It's just I'm really busy with the ASCAP and with the work I'm doing.
Yeah, so timing is always.
Timing was fast
with any relationship, right?
Yeah, but we also got to see the change in my life during the process of the film, which because we don't want to talk too much about how the film ends, but that's a big element in how the film ends.
Right, sure. There is an arc of the relationship, and so you. I wrote here actually. It's a certain your decision to insert yourself, Steve, into the film. Was that decision a retroactive one? Because there's a point about it. I'd say about a third or so the way in where you say there's different ways we can go about this. It's, you sense obviously this is not comfortable. What we're doing, we're walking around pretending on some level like that. This is about, and you got to be in it because were you able to perceive this was a relationship? The movie, was that when you decided to kind of go in and make your choices about, like doing a voiceover of being in the movie?
What happened was I had cut I had cut about a 15-minute teaser of the film just to explain to people what I had been shooting for the past year and a half, and I cut it without me in it at all, without my voice in it, without seeing me at all, and I showed it to some of my friends, and my friends were like, "You don't understand that the most interesting, weird thing about the film is, like, you're still a huge fan of this guy, and you treat him like a big star, and you're following him around, and he doesn't want you there, and that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It takes it from being just like a behind the music thing
Sure
about
does.
a guy that it's hard to get people to care about it. And as soon as like they said it to me, it was like, I get it. And then I started looking at the footage, and I started seeing like, well, look, here's Paul right here saying that I should be in the film. And I mean that it was all right in front of me. All the pieces were right in front of me. Even when he told me he wanted me to be in the film, I felt that was him trying to put up a wall and trying to get further away from being honest. Because then if I was on camera, he could do shtick with me and stuff like that, and not have to really be raw. And so I still tried not to be on camera.
Yeah. As
time went by, it got past whether or not I should be on camera, and it just did get real. And then sometimes I was there, sometimes I wasn't. It was never really intentional. And I think that's why at the end the film works so well and so much more like a movie and less like a traditional documentary that people get sucked into, because the more I cut it and the more I just said, okay, I got to be honest about everything, the better the film got, the funnier it got, the more real it got, the more emotional it got.
And it's interesting, I know you were about to say something, but it's interesting how you, for a good part of the beginning, I'd say you weren't very particularly likable, in the sense of you kind of came off as a bit weak. You know, you allowed yourself to come off that way, I should say. I mean, in fact, I wasn't there.
No, let me tell you something.
Or lacking confidence.
I didn't allow myself to come off. I showed you who I am.
Okay.
I really decided, you know what, like, I'm at an age. Why bullshit about it? Why say, like, some people look at my career and they go like, whoa, I wish I had that career. I wish I was nominated for an Academy Award. I wish I made a studio film. I don't wake up in the morning and look at it that way. And I thought, you know what, if I'm asking this guy to put out so much of his life, I've got to start putting out pieces of my life. And then when I sorry about that. And then when I did that in the film really started clicking. He didn't know what I was doing when I was editing the film. He never saw the film till it was done.
Yeah.
But I had no choice but to show people who I was. In fact, I don't know that it works for me personally to be that honest about who I was, but I know it worked for me in this film to be that way.
I think it's courageous. I think we were both very courageous. I think I was courageous to let him put in some of this horrific footage of me loaded, you know, for what we get in the end. And I think it was really courageous of him to do what felt right as opposed to what felt traditional, or you know he was, I think, very much aware of.
I might have been the more courageous when you lay. I never thought about it.
I never thought about that.
Maybe
either,
I was
actually,
more courageous.
Exactly.
No, but you were
These are
courageous
polling
too.
questions that we can
Right.
start to distribute.
That would be great.
You know, it's funny though, because you allowed yourself to come to be as open and honest.
Yeah.
The more you did that, of course, you gained Paul's trust. To get back to how we started talking about, and that's when the two of you, of course, it paid itself back. In other words, you're taking that risk as a filmmaker and as a possible friend. You opened the door for Paul to trust you, and I think he probably that's my sense.
I mean, I remember calling Nancy before going to the Philippines and going, look, does he want me to go there? Because I get the feeling that he doesn't want me to go, and I don't want to risk my life going to the Philippines if I'm going to go there and he's not going to let me put a microphone on him. But somehow, when I got to the Philippines, I think making that effort was so. Was he knew, like, okay, the guy's really wants to do this.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that started it, and then he knew I didn't want to take that bus ride. I tried to talk him out of it. I tried to talk him into canceling the Philippines trip.
Oh yeah, he was.
I know. Yeah.
And he, more than to the extent that I was able to show it on film. You know, because some of it was just like on the phone.
One of my favorite moments in the film is backstage in the Philippines when he's hungry, he hasn't eaten, he's terrified. We're going to go the next day on this long bus ride through Al-Qaeda territory, and he didn't even care that Paul Williams is there. He's just like, you know, it's a wonderful moment. I'm like, you know, getting ready to do my show, and he's sitting in the corner with just this empty look of like, oh my God, what have I got myself into?
Yeah.
It's in some ways, for me, that's almost not the heart of the film, but God, it's where the filmmaking process took you, and it's really pretty. It's really pretty to see that.
But it's, you want to ask me, were you going to say something?
First of all,